Good evening. Welcome to the meeting of the Skokie Village Board for Monday, November the 1st, 2021. With Skokie and the entire state of Illinois now in Phase 5 of the Restore Illinois Plan and the lifting of restrictions on in-person gatherings, the Skokie Village Board meetings are in person in the council chambers at Village Hall, 5127 Oakton. Village Board meetings begin at 8 p.m. and will continue to be broadcast live on the Village's YouTube channel, as well as on Skokie Vision cable television channels 17 Comcast and 25 RCN. Meetings are also rebroadcast on the cable channels in the weeks following each meeting, and the videos are archived on the Village's YouTube channel. As of August 30th, 2021, all individuals in Illinois are required to wear masks when indoors, including village buildings. Public comments may still be submitted to publiccomment@skokie.org. Comments received prior to the meeting or during the meeting will be provided to the village board, but will not be read aloud. Public comments also can be mailed or hand-delivered to Village Hall at 5127 Oakton, Skokie 60077, attention, Village Manager's Office, or they can be placed in the exterior drop box on the west side of Village Hall. Each Village Board meeting agenda includes time for public comments, and individuals wishing to speak on any issue will be allocated 3 minutes to address the Village Board. And now it gives me great pleasure to introduce our Village Clerk, Pramod Shah, who will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The Village Board meeting will come to order, and the clerk will please call the roll.
Trustee Center,
Here.
Trustee Robinson, here. Trustee Kuhn,
Here.
Trustee Johnson,
Here.
Trustee Sloman, here. Trustee Klein,
Here.
Mayor Windu.
Here, we have a quorum. The next item on the agenda is approval of the consent agenda for this evening's meeting. A motion is in order. Trustee Slogan, seconded by Trustee Johnson. Is there anything on the consent agenda anybody would like to have removed? If not, call the roll, please.
Trustee Center,
Aye.
Trustee Robinson, aye. Trustee Kuhn,
Aye.
Trustee Johnson,
Aye.
Trustee Sloman, aye. Trustee Klein,
Aye.
Mayor Windu.
Aye. The motion passes. It's now a pleasure to introduce the chair of our Consumer Affairs Commission, Joanne Haberlin, who will present this year's Business of the Year awards. And if you would introduce any commissioners who are with you this evening.
I will.
Thank you.
Wait. Oh, that's not going to work. I was told I can take this off as long as I'm behind the wall, right?
Yep.
And leave it up. The very first thing I want to do is thank the trustees, though, for this opportunity to recognize some of the outstanding businesses in Skokie, especially this year. It's been an extra challenge. And I thank you to all the members of the Consumer Affairs Commission who helped in the processing and selection for these honors. George Matthew is here. Would you please come up with me? Besides George, we have Biju Krishnan, Ted Levine, Anil Panel, Howard Meyer, Sam Pratap, and Gary Merrill, and they all could not be here tonight. Just saying, trustees, we have about half the membership that we usually do on the Consumer Affairs Commission. And I also, if any of the people who did the nominations are here, a huge thank you to them for taking the time and effort to nominate their favorite business. We had more nominations submitted this year than ever before. We had 142 nominations for 56 different businesses. That's awesome. After we receive the nominations, all the nominated businesses are sent questionnaires. Then we do some research and reading. Learned about businesses I didn't know, even being a 51-year resident of Skokie. Then we meet for discussion. As you can imagine, it's a pretty long meeting. And I am asking that if anyone, I'm going to read the honorable mentions first, and if anyone is here from these businesses, could you please stand up so we can, I don't know, wave to you, acknowledge you, clap for you, something? Okay, the honorable mentions are Bootleg Batard. No? If you haven't had tomato hand pies, try them out at the market next Sunday. The Chocolate Shop Ice Cream, Skokie, Couture Event Planning, Cygnus Lactation Services, Oh, thank you. Yay! You filled out a wonderful questionnaire. I enjoyed reading it. I gotta look up, don't I, and see who's standing. No, you tell me, right? That was a delegation. EJ's Pizzeria, Grecian Kitchen, Housing Opportunity Development Corporation, Insight Dance Center, Kenny the Cleaner, Manny's Pizza, which also has wonderful gyros, Mosaic Montessori Early Childhood, Panera Bread, Pressed Latino Sandwich Shop. In part of my research, I went there and for the first time had fried plantains. Very good. Skokie Provisions. Yay! She is one of the most creative people. She has a cowboy butter, is it called? That my daughter asks me to buy. T-Rex Bubble Tea. Timber Ridge Pediatric Therapy. Zacharias Sexual Abuse Center. And I thank you to all of these businesses. They all add to our community. And as you can see, there's quite a variety. Thank you. Okay, this year, because it was so difficult for us, we have 4 honorable mentions. The first is Orange Pediatric Therapy. Is anyone here? No, okay. They received 6 different nominations. One of the nominations included the statement, Orange Pediatrics Therapy's goal is to improve the life of each and every child that is enrolled. In describing their business, Orange Pediatric Therapy wrote, "We improve the lives of children and adolescents on the autism spectrum by providing the best in Class ABA therapy. Okay, you are not here to receive your plaque, so I'll put it on my wall for a while and then deliver it to you. Another runner-up is Needs and Wants Artesian Bakery and Cafe. Would you please come up? And I get to talk about you first, and then you get your plaque.
That's fine.
Okay,
We'll wait here.
okay. Needs and Wants had 14 nominations. You know, it takes a while. Have any of you nominated anybody? Come on, next year. I want to see all your names on a nomination. There was a plethora of accolades about the creative, delicious baked goods, sandwiches, and more. Appreciated their answer to one of the questionnaire questions, how do you give back to your community? The answer? We regularly work with a variety of community organizations on fundraisers, special events, and donations. District 69, Skokie Community Foundation, Temple Beth Israel, and CARE have all worked with us for catering and fundraising. We continue to donate daily leftovers to the Niles Township Food Pantry. We utilize our Neighbor Notes program by dropping off welcome boxes to new residents in the downtown community. Would you like to receive your plaque? I'm going to let George hand it to you since he's masked and I'm not. Would you like to say a word?
I don't know that I really have much to say, except thank you very much. We obviously, we are residents of Skokie. We appreciate, obviously, feeling so welcomed by the community. So thank you very much.
Our next runner-up is Sketchbook Brewery. Is there anyone here from Sketchbook? Oh, no, I'm going to have 2 plaques on my wall. Okay. Sketchbook had 17 nominations. They have been on Main Street about a year, but have made their presence felt with getting very community involved. On his nomination, Robert wrote that they have a great outdoor space that integrates nicely to its surroundings and produces great product. They bring people to Skokie from other communities, and they help other businesses. I'm understanding that sometimes they have a food truck from different restaurants come and be there. Isn't that an awesome collaboration? I thought it was when I found out. When asked on their questionnaire, why are you in this business? They replied, we are passionate about producing quality craft beer and of supporting our local community. A big part of our business has always been our community-supported brewery memberships. We now have nearly 600 members. That's in their first year. So I will take their plaque home and deliver it to them. And then our fourth, I gotta turn the page here. Our fourth runner-up is Poochie's Hot Dogs. Now, they've been in business for Skokie. Take a guess, Trustee Robertson, how many years?
30 years.
Nope. Right, Mayor. What is your guess?
50.
52 years. Awesome. Is Chris Christo or anyone from Poochie's here? Oh,
He's
3
working.
plaques. Wow.
He's working.
In part of my research, I look up Yelp and TripAdvisor and things like that to see what the general public thinks of these businesses that have been nominated. And almost all of them were 4, 4.5, 5 stars for Poochie's. So that's pretty good. I think that's very good. To the question on the questionnaire as to what are some of the reasons you feel your business would be a good choice, the reply was, we put our heart and soul to try to be the best. And what more could we do but try our best? Now, drum roll. The business of the year is Turning Point Behavioral Health Care Center. Which, Ann? I'm so excited. I just gotta say one thing, and then you gotta say lots of things.
Okay.
Ann, you came up. When asked why you are in this business, Turning Point exists to provide urgently needed solid support to families in need of mental health care and free crisis service. Our mission is solid support when you need it the most. Ann, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you. On behalf of the 75 members of our Turning Point team, our 1,300 clients, as well as the families and supporters who surround us all, thank you. We are so honored to be named Skokie Business of the Year. And what a year. Despite the challenges of the pandemic and the uncertainty and exhaustion foisted upon all of us, our team made its way through by continuing to create and innovate. Our living room program celebrates its 10th anniversary this year, and the program continues to maintain a 99% success rate in keeping adults in crisis out of the emergency department. This year, our crisis services, all free of charge, significantly expanded to meet the growing needs of our community. The living room hours increased by nearly 70%, and we are now open 8 hours a day, 7 days a week. This year has also brought many more clients to Turning Point. We have added 6 clinicians to our team, and we have inaugurated 2 fellowships in social justice to add to our strong internship program. Finally, our staff and board are in the midst of a multi-year training program in diversity, equity, and inclusivity. As our staff grows, we want also to grow in our recognition of barriers to care, to dismantle racial biases and other forms of oppression, and to center our energies around this important work. All of these efforts and all of our successes are due in large part to your support and our membership in this diverse and vibrant community that truly values every resident and where organizations creatively collaborate, working together towards shared goals. This honor tonight encourages all of us at Turning Point. We'll use this encouragement to work harder on behalf of everyone in this special community. Thank you. Whoa.
Mayor, would you like to come up and do the honors? for
Sure, and I
our
think
Business of the Year?
somebody came in late, maybe as one of the, was on the list, I'm not sure.
Did Bootleg come in?
There we go.
Oh, you missed all the wonderful accolades that I showered upon you. And I was telling them about your tomato hand pie.
Wow.
Hello.
Hello.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. That looks like the Stanley.
Come on. Come on.
Well, then I'm gonna put my mask on. I can't break the rules.
Still can't get over this,
No,
wearing masks.
I know. And your name's on it
I
already.
see it. Good grief.
Congratulations.
Very, very much.
I'll give you a, there we go.
Wow, thank you, everybody. this is gonna be a catastrophe. I'm a terrible photo person.
Come on
Well, we
in.
got masks on, nobody's
It's true,
gonna even know
it's so
who we
true,
are.
yes,
We're all smiling.
yeah.
Thank you very much.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Shall I hand this back to you?
You get to keep it for a year, Ann.
We do?
You have the trophy.
Really?
Yes, display it proudly.
Wow, okay.
Okay, I'd like to say one more quick thank you, because there couldn't have been a business of the year except for all the work that Brian Augustine put in collecting and sending and letting the chair nag him, and he was very gracious about that, so thank you, Brian. And one more applause for all the businesses in Skokie who make Skokie a wonderful place to live. Thank you.
And on behalf of the board, I do want to take a moment to thank all of the businesses for everything they do. They are very much the backbone of what makes this a great village. Not only is it tough to be in business in a normal year, whatever normal is, and trying to remember, but to survive a pandemic and to do well takes extraordinary patience, imagination, and collaboration. Thank you for everything that you do. I want to thank Brian, Joanne, the Consumer Affairs Commission for doing an extraordinary job this year, very difficult circumstances. And thank you to the businesses. We're all immensely grateful to you and proud of all of the work that you do. So thank you very much, and congratulations. And with that, next item is report of our village manager, John Lockerbie.
Thank you, Mayor Van Dusen and Village Board. Good evening, everyone. Item A was approved under tonight's consent agenda. Item B is a request for executive session. Pursuant to Section 2, Paragraph C5 and C6 of the State of Illinois Open Meetings Act, a closed session is requested and to adjourn therefrom.
A motion is in order. Trustee Kuhn, seconded by Trustee Sutker. Call the roll, please.
Trustee Sutker,
Aye.
trustee Robinson. Aye. Trustee Kuhn,
Aye.
trustee Johnson,
Aye.
trustee Logan. Trustee Klein.
Aye.
Mayor Van Dusen.
Aye, the motion passes.
And that completes my report this evening.
The next item is report of our Corporation Counsel, Michael Lorch.
Thank you, Mayor, trustees. Good evening, everyone. Items A, B, and C were ordinances which were on the consent agenda at the beginning of this evening and were adopted at that time. Item D is an ordinance which is on my report for first reading tonight and will be back on the agenda before you on November 15th. This ordinance is brought to the board annually. The ordinance establishes the compensation for the village manager, deputy village clerk, corporation counsel, and assistant corporation counsels for the financial year 2022 pursuant to Chapter 2, Article 3 of the Skokie Village Code, and is consistent with the Village of Skokie budget. As I said, it'll be back on the agenda, Mayor, on November 15th, 2021.
Are there any comments or questions?
Then this would conclude my report for this evening.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is report of our Plan Commission, Chairman Paul Luke with Matt Brandmeier. Mr. Chairman.
Good evening, Mayor, members of the board. Tonight I have one case 2021-23P, a subdivision request. At the October 7th meeting of the Plan Commission, we heard the petitioner's request to re-subdivide part of the Old Orchard Woods subdivision by creating 5 lots. The 5 lots will allow individual businesses to own their own space and to allow for future redevelopment. Easements will be granted for ingress and egress and for shared parking. The easement also specifies that any reserved parking spaces must conform to with the zoning regulations. A revised copy of the Declaration of Covenants, Conditions, Restrictions, and Easements was received by the Planning Division that retains the language for ingress and egress and all the lots and the restrictions to shared parking as provided by the Skokie Village Code. Legal notice was provided and posted, advertised, and delivered to all property owners around the subject site as prescribed by the zoning chapter. Multiple people spoke at the meeting, primarily with questions about the Carvana proposal, which was scheduled for a future Plan Commission meeting. The Plan Commission recommends by a vote of six ayes and no nays and 3 members absent that the petitioner's request be granted, be approved.
A motion is in order on 2021-23P, subdivision 9801-9911 Woods Drive. Trustee Pure Slovan, seconded by Trustee Klein. Are there any comments or any questions? This is purely the subdivision. Call the roll, please.
Trustee Chapter,
Aye.
Trustee Robinson, Trustee Kuhn,
Aye.
Trustee Johnson,
Aye.
Trustee Pure Slovan, Trustee Klein,
Aye.
Mayor Andrews.
Aye, the motion passes.
That concludes my report.
Thank you very much. The concluding item on the public agenda this evening is public comment. Is there anybody who wishes to address the village board? If not, yes, ma'am. If you would come to the podium and just give us your name, please. Thank you. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. My name is Gertrude Lobo, and I'm a resident of Skokie for over 46 years. I'm almost 80 years old, and I suddenly heard about this increase in, the imposition of a refuse pickup levy. And it was not made known to everyone that you all were discussing about it. I mean, the papers and all the communications only talked about the pandemic, the vaccines, and everything else, the Skokie Farmers Market and stuff. But this thing was not covered adequately, I think. And then suddenly, in that gas bill, no, in the water bill, the latest water bill, there was a notification that everyone is supposed to pay $8.95 a month. Every residential unit, be it a house or a condo or any size unit. Now I'm wondering, can I be compared to somebody with a big mansion? I live alone. I live on a social security check. And can I be compared to business owners, two-income families, and professionals like doctors and lawyers? I don't think so. So that's why I think it is unfair. And I want somebody to tell me how this was introduced and how it was passed, and why didn't we have more say in the matter? So let me have your feedback.
It was introduced at the time of the budget. It was broadcast, and it was also in all of the different media that is available to the public. It was also came to the village board in ordinance form. We do 2 readings publicly. As you saw this evening, when the village manager proposes something, it's then put in ordinance form. We do 2 readings. We certainly, when the budget comes up next year, the manager will make his recommendations. We solicit coverage by the news media. It's a question of approximately $8 a month.
$8.75 a month.
$8.75
Yes.
a month. There is no way that we could ever distinguish between people. The only way we can do it is who receives the village refuse service. And at $8.75 a month, it's not a huge charge. I understand the point you're making. The other is a practical question. How can we make distinctions and, with a minimal village staff? It would be impossible to have applications try and figure out income levels and so on. But it's a service that's indispensable.
It is indispensable, and I've been hearing, because I talked to people from other villages, and they did say that they were paying their fair share, sort of, towards refuse pickup. Okay, I understand that Skokie was the last to bring it on. It's the second last village, to introduce this levy. But Skokie is known for its good sense, and the very fact that I stayed here for 46 years, I brought up my children, my grandchildren are not here, they're all in other villages. So I'm just thinking now, can you tell me how I can be compared to business owners and to professionals?
I'm not going.
And when they are earning nearly $1 million a year, and I get a social security check, is that equitable? And if you can't make any changes, then there should be not in the form of a coupon, but like a rebate or some sort of thing to accept people like me.
When the village takes up its budget next year, which will probably be March or April, we will review the program, and we will bear in mind the point that you have made this evening.
Also, another thing which I want to tell you, irrespective of earnings now, you take a family with 4 kids and 2 pets and in-laws and friends and all over in the house. So the garbage bins are overflowing with pizza boxes and diapers and all that stuff. Everything is overflowing with paper and plastic and leftover food. And then mine, for the week, I collect probably just this much, because I cook my own food. 1 gallon of milk lasts a week or more. One large loaf of bread lasts me for a whole week. And I eat healthy. So I can't understand. You all are paying so much for waste management costs for these big homes and these lots of members in one family and lots of members under one household, under one roof. So when you were putting rates together, did you not think, is it fair that Skokie has older people? And Mr. Van Dusen, you know where you live, and I think I'm your neighbor. But you look around and you see, how can it be equitable? I mean, didn't it not strike anybody?
Of course it did.
It did?
Of course
And then
it did.
unfortunately, I was not there when it was first brought up.
Okay. We will bear your thoughts in mind, and the village manager, when he makes his presentation to the village board for the budget next year, we will bear in mind your comments.
Yeah, now my comments, I put in a letter, and of course, it didn't reach the, what do you call, feedback correctly, but I did give it to Lucy. And Lucy told me she,
Yes,
everybody, you all read it?
yes. we
So
got
you
it.
are aware of it?
Yes, we are.
Okay. That's what I want. But so now I have to wait for a year for your consideration.
The budget
And
next year.
hopefully some sort of equity to come after a year?
We will see. The manager will make a recommendation. We have a whole budget process. We review the village's programs, and we try to take into consideration everybody's point of view as much as we can. We have thousands of residential units in the village, and it's very hard to just pick out this person, that person as being the exception. We will bear in mind what your comments are.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who wishes to address the board? If not,
I move we adjourn for executive session.
thank you.